Today is the fourth Sunday of Advent Cycle A. In today's first reading, Isaiah urged the king, Ahaz, to trust in God for the security of the city. When the northern kingdom had been surrounded and fall appeared imminent, a plague struck the opposing army, and they had to withdraw before the attack. If God had worked a miracle before, he could do it again. King Ahaz was busy preparing to defend Jerusalem and refused to seek God's help. He may have been afraid to ask God for a favor as he was unfaithful to the covenant. Despite the king's reluctance, God gave him a sign through Isaiah. The sign of lasting peace and security that God gave Ahaz through Isaiah was, "The virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall name him Emmanuel." Ahaz had a son, Hezekiah, who was a relatively good king who followed the way of the Lord. However, Hezekiah was a young man when this prophecy was made. Who was the child to which this prophecy referred? The prophecy referred to remain unfulfilled until the birth of Jesus. The prophecy said that the child will be called Emmanuel, which means God is with us. The angel told Mary to name her child Jesus, which means God saves. Jesus is both. He is our Savior, and he is the one who came in flesh and dwelt among us, the one God with us. Pope Francis added the name St. Joseph to the first three Eucharistic prayers. Pope Francis cited St. Joseph as a model of kindness and humility and ordinary, simple virtues. Through these virtues, under Pope Francis, this just man, caring most lovingly for the Mother of God and happily dedicating himself to the upbringing of Jesus Christ, was placed over God the Father's most precious treasures. One of the most painful emotions in a marriage is the betrayal of a loved one with a third party. When Joseph learned that Mary was pregnant and he was not the father, he was devastated. He did not believe her explanation, and that is why he planned to divorce her. In spite of his deep hurt, he nevertheless decided to treat her with kindness and respect. How would you react to the one you love if you discovered he or she was unfaithful? Would you put all of his or her finest clothes in his or her car and burn them as the grief party did in the movie Waiting to Exhale? Would you seize any opportunity to humiliate or to hurt him or her as he or she had done to you? Joseph had the opportunity to have Mary stoned for adultery or publicly shamed. He did not. He did neither. He chose to divorce her quietly. He was prayerful and open to God's guidance. Because of his prayer life, he was able to discern that it was not just a fanciful dream, but God was indeed speaking to him, asking him to take Mary as his wife. When we are angry and hurt, we tend to be very close-minded and refuse to listen to the advice of others, who may suggest we follow the teachings of Christ and be compassionate and forgiving. The next time you are angry, please notice how you handle and evaluate the advice of others, especially when it is of a Christian